Need a second to set up?
Yeah, just a second.
Okay.
Are you doing another raffle? Do we have any more tickets? Want to do another raffle?
Sure, we'll do another raffle.
Okay,
You're set.
I'm ready.
Okay.
I'll put the mic.
Loch David Crane.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Good evening. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I'm in the role of Merlin-ye-Mage, 1,500-year-old magician. I brought an animal trick with me. So let me get rid of my shield. One of the kids over there will catch it on stage. Thank you. Now, 1,500 years ago, the world was very different. In fact, people used to think the world was flat. And they had proof. Because sometimes sailors would go out to the end of the world and they would never come back. And that proved they fell off the edge. In medieval times, of course, the moon held great influence over people. They were called lunatics. Over here it says Jupiter and Io. Jupiter and Io were two of the planets that were discovered, the latest in the firmament, in the heavens here. Down here, Venus is the god of love, Saturn and Mars, the gods of war. Over here you see Mercury. Mercury is a terrible planet and a terrible element, and it's very dangerous. And up here, the sun circles us. This is, of course, very true. All you have to do is get up in the morning, you see the sun come up, you see the sun circle you, you see the sun go down. The medieval world was very easy to understand because it was all true. And in fact, in just a minute, I'm going to ask one of you as a wizard to help me to prove one of these by searching one of these words. But let me show you the other side first. The king, of course, was in charge of the castle and in charge of everything that went on in the castle. Pendragon was the name of Arthur, and Arthur, the magician that hired Merlin. So that's one of the words you can spell. There's a tower in the castle just like there is in the Magic Castle. There's a drawbridge. Unfortunately, there's no drawbridge in the Magic Castle anymore. The word castle is down here. The word over here that you see is crenellated. That means going up and down like this, like the outside of a castle, because they used to hide in here and shoot arrows out at you. So crenellated was very important. Over here was the dungeon. That's where they used to keep the bad guys. Remember, in just a second, I'm going to ask for a wizard to spell one of these names. And you wonder how and why this is an animal trick. That's because this is made on deerskin, 150 years old. Yes, indeed. The keystone up here is the key that kept the stones at the top of the arch. The Romans invented the arch, the Romans invented the keystone, and that's why we have a beer with that name that day. Now I'm going to need a wizard, a volunteer, to help me choose one of these names and spell it. I will tell you then whether you are a true wizard, because we will then turn this around and we'll count around the circle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like that. You will tell me where to stop and where to start. And that will spell the correct name, or the correct term, or the correct planet. Because as you can tell, the earth is flat. And remember, there are only 4 elements: fire, air, earth, and water. Everything is made out of those. And now I need a volunteer. A wizard who can spell. Now I need a volunteer, a wizard who can spell. Yes, we have a wizard who can spell. Stand right up here, sir.
Yes, indeed.
Right up here. Right up here. Very good. I want you to choose one of these terms and make sure that you can spell it. Don't spell it out loud, otherwise the trick will be over early. Just make sure that you can spell it. Now, over here is a very long one. The sun circles us. If you want to choose that one's so long, you can just use the word sun, S-U-N, because that one's so long, okay? Have you made a choice?
I have.
You have made a choice. Now I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to start counting around the circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You will stop me on the number of letters in that name or in that term. So if you chose the term king, you would stop me on the fourth letter, K-I-N-G, and that would be the fourth letter. Do you understand what we're doing?
Yes, I do.
Can you spell your term?
Now?
Yes.
Okay.
Tell me first which of these holes you would like me to start to count in. Because each one of these goes through, as you can.
Tower.
The tower, the one over here, okay, I'm going to start over here,
Yep.
and then I'll count around the term, and you'll stop me on the top on the number of letters in that,
Yes.
in that word, okay? Here's 1, 2, 3,
Stop.
right there, and the term you thought of was?
Sun. Ah.
The sun, yes! The sun, that's correct! And the sun rises and sets over all of us. Let's give him a hand. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And now, as there is someone else who would like to choose one of these terms, another wizard who can spell out of the hundreds of people in Ring 76 in San Diego, there must be another wizard who can spell.
Go ahead, Kenny.
They're all pointing at each other. You can't see that on camera, but it's very funny. They're all going like this, pointing at each other. That's all right. That'll be the end of the trick anyway. Thank you very much. That's the end of the spelling. Thank you very much.